Well, welcome back everybody into the Hockey for All Center. I just love it when the Wi-Fi plays. It's evil little games from our perspective, because nothing more evil to us from our experience in this industry than the Wi-Fi absolutely not helping us out. But speaking of evil, an evil looking save there from Keegan Gordon to rob a Raiders Junior Hockey Club player. By the way, the Hawks now lead this game up 2-1 with 2:06 remaining in this period of action. Apologies to everyone that experienced our stream going out about, I think, like 7 minutes ago at this point, or maybe less than that. But it's never fun when we have to stop streaming due to something like internet difficulties. Happy that we're able to be back here and hoping that it stays this way. Last time we were announcing this game, though, on that first live stream, of course, moments ago, there was a lot of back and forth. It continues here. Logan Ash, his shot wide of the net it goes, as it's picked up off the boards by Vig Fussin. Played cross ice to Reynolds, who just passed the red line, dumps this in deep. Rimmed around. Reynolds now pickpocketing that puck. Stepping in up. Backhand denied by Savoy. Rebound cleared into the boards. And shot back into Savoy. It's the most recent goal scorer in this one for the Charleswood Hawks. Ended up being Sam Monin. First goal of the period is scored by Riley Dudich. As Dudich has 2 points on the night so far. Same with Cole Penner. Penner 2 assists for Dudich. A goal and an assist so far. Sam Monin, the only one out of those three without a point, or multi-points on the night. This period's been brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry, as well as goaltenders. Cole Penner to take the draw, and he wins this for the Hawks with under 50 seconds left. Saucer pass to Monin, who threw the legs, got it to Penner, just out of reach for Dudich. As this ends up back for Parker White. D he goes with Jaden Waddell back over to White, up the middle for Penner. So with under 30 seconds left, he fends off the check, continues on down low to get to that puck. In front, paddled away by Savoy. Monin couldn't get there fast enough to do anything. The rebound that was sitting there, and maybe one more chance here for Jared and his Raiders Junior Hockey Club team, as that shot turned aside by Gordon. Out in front, low slot. Gordon again with the denial on the save. 5 seconds left on the clock. Both teams trying to get it loose from out behind the net. So it ended up along the backboards and stayed there. As with that, we're going to be sending it to our second intermission content, which is going to be some highlights from actually one of the Hawks' most recent victories 2 Sundays ago at the East End Arena in Transcona. Came back in that one to win in overtime. They came back in this one tonight down 1-0, now up 2-1, and ended up making the shots close. Really came to life as the period went along, much like, the Raiders in the first period, where they were getting hemmed in for most of it, and then as it went along, they started to generate more of the action, more of the shots. Well, we saw similar things from the Charleswood Hawks in that past period. Out in front, though, a lot of players been making their living there all season long for the Charleswood Hawks, and this time around it's Riley Dudich who had a nice redirection, and Sam Monin picking up the loose trash. And a goal that unfortunately you didn't see. Happy to be back here streaming for what should be a very entertaining third period of action coming up here from the Hockey for All Center. It's the home side in this matchup, although on a neutral playing surface, as this game was supposed to originally be played at home a few Fridays ago at Eric Coy Arena, Charleswood's home ice. The home side, the Hawks in that case, up 2-1 in this matchup. Looking to take it home in these last 20 minutes of play in regulation. Do we see overtime here tonight, or do we see it end off in regulation? Stay tuned to find out. Pt2, serving Manitoba producers in the agricultural industry for over 80 years, as well as goaltenders. Your Goalie's personal video review service were the proud sponsors of the second period of action. We're going to send it to some highlights now from one of Charleswood's most recent wins, and we'll be back for a bit more breakdown on this game during the second intermission and the full third period of action coming up next on your home for mmjhl hockey on G-Show Productions on mmjhl.ca. And good evening, Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League fans. Welcome into another edition of MMJHL Game Day here on your home for hockey in Manitoba and your home for MMJHL hockey in the province on G-Show Productions, G-Show.ca. I'm your host, Graham, the G-Show Forsyth. On Friday night, where they were supposed to take on the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. That's in the past, though. We're into the present here tonight, where it's Railway Express taking on the taking on the Charleswood Hawks here. Early on, a chance scores! And no, the net off to start things off, similar to Thursday night, where the St. Vital Junior Victorious thought they got the first goal of the game in the second period. Net was deemed off. Of course, started 2024 kind of slow, but really picked it up. Showed to be the most consistent team throughout 2024. Is coming down prudent. Has St. Laurent headed to the net, backhand turned aside by Gordon in tight. No icing on the play called, as allows for Charleswood to change and not be affected by a potential Transcona chance coming down the other way. But here's a turnover, far side of the net, denying him. A Railway Express player was Gordon, as the Charleswood Hawks play this down low on a Reynolds stick. To Stevenson, sends it across. And to Krekowitz, through scores! And it's one of the newer additions for the Charleswood Hawks. In number 4, Eric Krekowitz puts a shot through safely. Direction of a teammate at first. His own end. Van Bush, one open man in front, Chudley scores! Well, it's a bad breakdown inside of the Charleswood Hawks zone for them. They're thinking they're already out of this end. They forget the man that's in front. One of the most dangerous players in the league with the puck on his stick, and Evan Chudley couldn't settle it down, just backhands this into the corner. As this stripped away now, Michael Todorek, he gets it stripped away just as fast upon entry. Now taken away by the Charleswood Hawks. 2-on-1 developing. Carlson tried to get it back over to Sperber, but huge defensive play. Looks to break this puck up now. But Sullen takes a bump afterwards, though, by Glavina. Allows for this puck to be broken out. Big Fussin drops this for Reynolds. Stripped. Stevenson shot blocked there. Huge one from number 20 and Howell. That's, I believe, Turner. One by Morrison on a tie-up. Rebound there! Oh, that just wanted the net off a 13 stick. Thirdly, Traverse going to work, along with another Charleswood Hawks player. Traverse able to get out of it. Gets it up to the point to White. That shot tipped, scores! But could not. Parker White with the assist on that goal announced that it was Penner who got it. As this turned over by the Hawks. Up top to the point, that shot scores! Well, the Transcona Railway Express saying anything you could do, I could do better. They're able to hold that in at the point. Carlson down low again. Stick handling with it up to the point. Glavina unable to quite hold it in. Loses balance too. Is this a turnover? Into the Railway Express possession. 2-on-1 coming. Over to Todorek. Denied by Gordon. To keep it in. Holding the line. That backdoor feed. A tic-tac-toe play. Almost set up with success. But for Charleswood, they're left empty-handed there. Nice pressure. And a big hit by Shadanoff. was taken away by the Railer Express again. Protecting, using the net well was Johnson. That shot through Larkins. Oh, picked up the rebound with Shadanoff, and he puts it home for the Railer Express to go up in this one for the first time this evening. Turns this over, gets it right back, and kicks it outside down the right side to Morrison. Nice chip by Morrison to continue going north-south. Goes towards the net. Loose puck there, banging away at it is Jacob. Now Dudichin on the rebound. Oh, somehow, some way, this puck doesn't get into the back of the net with a wide-open cage. Or that from happening. Vigfossen threads it to the middle to Stevenson. That shot turned aside by Delaroe. Vigfossen not quite able to get to the rebound. The Hawks hold this in at the line into the skates, and now the forehand of Krekowicz. A nice move to alleviate pressure. That set up. One-timer chance turned aside. As Glovina maneuvers in now. Passes it over to Stevenson. Cuts to the middle. Stevenson drops back to Reynolds. Now drop back. Now to Stevenson. Rebound there. Searching for it are the Hawks, but can't get it. Down the right side. Chips and goes. Lewis has a man heading towards the net, and Reynolds, but huge defensive play by Jace Larkins. Catching all puck. He's spread out to take away time and space from this Hawks team. Krekowicz at the point. Tipped on net. Rebound there. Scores! On their second power play of the night, they come through against one of the best penalty kills in the league. Able to get by, but Elliot Lewis stayed on him all the way. Michael Todorek now stripped away of the puck by Matt Carlson, and he can wheel. Matt Carlson sticking with him all the way was Todorek. Plays it across to Krekowicz. Backdoor scores! And what if you had said probably halfway into regulation would have come to a shock, ends up being a reality in the end for the Charleswood Hawks as they come away with a victory in tonight's matchup, stunning the Transcona Railer Express here in their own barn.
Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And welcome back into Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League game day. Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League fans, if you're still with us for this one, thank you for still being here. We had a, well, good old internet connection difficulty. Came to my attention about halfway through the second period. Happy to be back now as the Charleswood Hawks and Raiders Junior Hockey Club are both making their way back onto the ice here shortly. This is the schedule for the upcoming matchups on Thursday. There's going to be a doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have one of them live streamed here on G-Show Productions for mmjhl game day between the Victorias and the St. James Junior Canucks. 3 matchups on Friday, and then a rare Saturday matchup as the Fort Garry Twins going to be in Pembina Valley's home at Morris Multiplex to take on the last place Twisters. Could be a battle of first versus last in that matchup, depending on how these next 2 days go, as the standings are tight here, especially among the top 4, as we can see right now. I'm sure St. Vital wanted to get into the mix there on tightening the gap, and I mean, they got the top-end talent to do it when you take a look at Tyler Rubini, his season so far. It's the Twins who remain on top. Keegan Gordon leading the league in wins, as mentioned. And yeah, as we can see here, more Twins on top. Rubini back with the league lead for goals outright there. But as for this period coming up, Brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools as the Hawks up by a score of 2-1, looking to bring this one home. And looking to put even more pressure on the two teams in front of them right now. Sam Monin and Riley Dudich, the goal scorers in that period. Shots now 27-20 in favor of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, but throughout that second, it was Charleswood who tightened the gap way more in the shots, giving up 14 against still 2 more than they put up with 12, but a period which they finished much stronger in. And Riley Dudich really been at the center of a lot of things here tonight. As a goal and assist, Sam Monin also with the goal and an assist on the night. Cole Penner with some helpers in there, so that line has been working really well together. Can the Hawks continue the consistency overall in their game throughout all pieces of their lineup, as every single line has been contributing in an effective way, one way or the other so far here tonight, as they look to keep the Raiders hemmed in, this line in particular, and Stevenson, Vig Fussin, and Kalen Reynolds as the Raiders circle away. Stretch pass almost finding the stick of Cromie, but just out of 27's reach. .18:47 remaining. It's Riley Dudich also on the Traverse and Anthony Jacob line here tonight, as that puck gets shipped past and on to Larenko's stick, played up. Huge hit there by Traverse on the play, as this guy's been a bruiser here tonight. That's about the third big hit at least that we've called from number 17. Targeting the other number 17 there in Larenko, held in by Dudich. Played down low to Van Norman, who shields this along the wall and plays it further down low. Out front trying to tuck it in was Jacob, but number 22 denied by that outstretched pad of Savoy. This into the skates of Van Norman. Bad bounce, fortunate in favor of this Raiders team. Henry stops up, tries to find Ash, and did, but was stripped away of the puck from a tight angle. Now that shot goes just over the shoulder of Gordon. This remains down low in the Hawks' end. Finally flipped out now. As Charleswood able to get fresh legs out. But here's a great chance from the Raiders, who's turned aside by Keegan Gordon. So we'll get a face-off draw set up here. 17:32 remaining. Henry tied up his man on the draw. Just was able to win it back. Ends up into the feet of Logan Ash along the wall. So he goes to battle. Picked up by Krekowitz. Krekowitz tries to stretch this up, but into the skates of Ash he goes instead. Now a tie-up by Henry, and a Hawks player allows for the Hawks to break this puck out. It's kicked out to Lewis. He drives to the middle, turned aside by Owen Savoy, as that sets up another face-off draw for the Hawks inside the offensive zone. It'll be Penner, Monin, and Dudich back out. So Dudich continues to see his minutes go up in this one, as his responsibility is going to go up here as well. Taking the draw and winning it just far enough back to Parker White, who gets it back in the corner where Dudich is. Dudich held up by a Raiders player, allows for this puck to be freed up to White again, as that shot deflects out of play. So we'll have the face-off draw remaining. inside the Raiders' end as Penner now on the draw. He wins it. Just got it up to Parker White, who plays it in to the corner. Dudic rubbed out along the wall. Penner in for support, able to take this puck away and send it in deep again. Zook will be first one on it. Chips this up the wall to safety to a teammate in Cromie. As Cromie tried to glove it down but couldn't successfully in the neutral zone. Quickly over to Penner, trying to feed Dudic, heading back door, but it was taken away, and that by Monin not taking away those. He puts it in the back of the net, number 26, with his third point of the night, second straight goal in this one. It's the quick puck movement from the Charleswood Hawks. Just a bit too much for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club to handle, and this line continues to have themselves quite a night. Combining for points on every single goal so far, and it's just this team staying relentless, not giving up on just after the first chances, right? Keeping after the puck on their second and third chances, as that backdoor pass from Penner to Dudic doesn't work out at first, but they're able to somehow work it out in front, where Sam Monin gets wide open to give this Charleswood Hawks squad a 2-goal lead now, their biggest of this contest, and their third unanswered. Brought to you by McKenna Fasteners and Tools, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. Store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg. Be sure to check them out today, as well as their website at mckenfasteners.shop. There's Braden Stevenson. Wins that draw along the wall. It'll be played out by the Raiders. Not into their possession, though, so they get it right back again. Stick in the lane there from the Hawks. That's Vig Fussin. Tried to split the D, but got stripped of the puck instead, as Krekowitz in his own end plays that to a teammate, now into the feet of Glavina, as Glavina continues to move his feet and able to get this to safety to Reynolds, who gets it to Vig Fussin, whose shot turned aside by Owen Savoy. With 15:22 remaining. Charleswood looking to keep the pressure going here. Draw one to Jacob by Dudic. Almost gloved down by Dudic on the way through, as the Hawks send this puck in deep again. And Dudic, first forward checker, forces a turnover, gets it back into skates now, has this knocked away, but continues to battle along the boards, plays it to a loose Traverse, who got that puck down low even further. Cromie trying to play with it now with this Raiders team. Stripped away by Dudic, tries to find a man, but finds a point man, skates instead in his captain and Van Norman. That shot from Van Norman just wide of the net it goes, as, Yurchenko laboring out in front, still unable to get up. That save made by Owen Savoy. Able to stick out that pad to stop it up, as Yurchenko has some words for a Hawk behind his own net. It's the two exchange pleasantries. It was him and Traverse, his physical element to this game tonight has been on full display. 3 bone-crushing hits at the very least here tonight, as Van Alstyne's shot turned aside into the corner and in favor of his teammate Logan Ashes. That shot down the right side, almost a rebound, perfectly laid on in front for Ashton Henry, but was unable to get to it. Not sure Logan Ash could have shot it any better to be able to get a rebound. D'Souza called offside upon entering the zone. With 14:07 remaining. His face-off come just near next to the Charleswood Hawks bench. Krekowitz, I believe that is. No, sorry, that's actually Parker White. Nice little Quick stick handle to evade the pressure before sending that cross ice to Sperber. Forecheck down low, forces a turnover where Van Alstyne's shot unable to get through from the point. Now D'Souza hounding White on the forecheck as White gets taken down. No call here on the play. Henry topples over White now. That shot turned aside by Gordon, as it was Logan Ash who unloaded it. He battles down low with Van Alstyne in to help out as Ashton Henry, and he gets on this loose puck first. Henry shielding it, gets it up to D'Souza, threads this through the skates of Carlson over to number 23, and Wilson as his shot turned aside. D'Souza gets it down low to Henry, back to D'Souza now. Fake before going back to Henry, up top to Zook. That shot deflects wide of the net and off the backboards. As good pressure from the Raiders that the Hawks are able to withstand. Here they come again. It's Henry breaking his way in, turned aside by that glove of Gordon, though, is Gordon able to get a stoppage here with 12:56 remaining in this third period of action. 32-25, the shots in favor of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Push in desperately to get within at least one again in this one. A game where they've, of course, given up 3 unanswered. 1 in this period so far. Monin, nice little pass out to Dudic. Took it from behind, but recovered well off the post, off Penner's skate. As almost magic worked in there again from number 11, and Riley Dudic to goal Penner this time. It was Sam Monin who sent it to him quickly. And somehow that's able to get through to Penner. Goes off of his shin pad and into the post, and the net occupied by Owen Savoy. But all for naught for this Charleswood Hawks team, as both benches yelling something at each other as we're back underway again. As down low, Monin able to take that puck away to Penner. Plays it high slot to Dudic. His shot turned aside by Savoy. Almost hops over the stick of Larveld. Safety at first. This Hawks line with a lot of juice still as Dudic able to keep this down low. Stick in the lane from Penner, able to take it away. Tried to send it back down, but couldn't. Onto the stick of Ryan Cromie instead. We got that across to Enerson, but here's Kalen Reynolds now forcing a turnover. That shot scores! Well, as the old saying goes, they would not be denied. And with all the pressure that Charleswood put on the Raiders Junior Hockey Club there, that's exactly what happens. What another shift. Honestly, this goal created hugely in part to how much pressure that Dudic, Monin, and Penner trio put on the Raiders' defense. Turnovers forced in the neutral zone. The Charleswood Hawks end up getting fresh legs out with player Kalen Reynolds, who's able to get his body in the lane of that puck. So tried to make its way deep into the Hawks zone. That was the plan for the Raiders, but that's not the case. Good individual effort there by Reynolds to finish things off. Brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools. For an answer now for the Hawks, as that shot turned aside by Gordon into his glove. So that goal brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools, their one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. Be sure to check out their website for more details today. McCannFasteners.shop. Tie up on the face-off draw. In possession for the Raiders. Getting cut off along the boards was number 20, and Jarrett ends up back into the Raiders zone as Yurchenko now takes a bump along the boards. Another turnover force. It's Reynolds. Gets this puck loose to Vic Fuss and spins to wide open Stevenson. Shot just wide of the net. Another great pass and play. Good awareness there from the Hawks forward. Just unable to get the finish. As this puck remains down low as Yurchenko picks up a glove that got loose. Banked off the boards. Too far out of the reach of Senchuk. Played D to D. by Reynolds. Krakowicz saw that hit coming. Still took a lot of force in it, but it remained on his feet. As that clear out attempt unable to go. Yurchenko along the boards. Rubs off and rolls off the hit there from Jacob, who takes down Yurchenko. No call coming on the play, though, and the Raiders faithful absolutely furious here. But we will play on. Just before the blue line, Danoon sends that in deep. Oh, almost a bad spill, but fortunate. Going the boards as light as he did there. Number 14 and Nicholas Chapman, that shot high of the net. Rims around to Dudic, as now he's out with Jacob and Reynolds. Dudic forces a turnover, tries to thread that 5-hole. But Savoy up to the challenge to make the save. With 9:44 remaining here, just before 10 o'clock. It just did turn to 10 o'clock actually on this Wednesday night. The start of our mmjhl game day coverage this week, of course. I'll show you the schedule, just to show you a visual of it afterwards, but we got 3 games in the next 4 days after this, with our only day off being on Saturday in the league. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon. A game to be announced in terms of what we'll be live streaming exactly. But for the Charleswood Hawks in this one, under halfway left until they're able to come away with what would be win number 25 on the season, is played to the middle. Logan Ash trying to make some magic happen, wheeling in, but had this angle cut off by the good defense of Jaden Waddell. As Waddell gets it all the way down to the Raiders zone. D they go. As is played up to Ashton Henry. Chips and goes to himself off the boards. Takes a hit at the end of it there by Waddell. Waddell goes back to his defensive position. Played up loose to Hukert at the point. That deflecting off bodies before it goes wide of the net. As this gets played back in the neutral zone and now back into the Hawk zone as Henry giving chase. Sean plays it below D, but just out of the reach of Waddell. As Carlson swooped in. Flyby. Fanned on the puck completely. Puck ended up back into the Raiders zone as Carlson tried to strip away a man of the puck there with a good stick, but couldn't. As the Raiders send this all the way back down into the Hawks' end. Fed up the middle to Lewis. Kicks it out wide to Carlson. Tries going back to Lewis. Sperber there, but shot wide of the net. As D'Souza plays this back, settling it down for the Raiders. Only goal scorer in this game, Larveld, looking to work a breakout pass out, and he does to D'Souza, almost stretching it up to a man in Senchuk. It was just before the blue line. Now he goes toe-to-toe with Gordon, as Gordon is taken down by Senchuk. Now Carlson ends up on top of a Raiders player in the corner. Loose puck in the slot, turned aside by Gordon off of that chance from D'Souza. As Gordon, 7:30 away from his 20th win of the season as we get another stop and play here. Offensive zone face-off draw for the Raiders, won by Kennedy. Up to Chapman, his shot blocked. Wider than that it goes. Savan Norman. Over to Monin, who has this taken away. Good forecheck by the Raiders. Scores! With that good forecheck for the Raiders, able to get wide open in the slot there was Cole Kennedy, who started off by winning the face-off draw cleanly in the zone. Yeah, beats Keegan Gordon, who's out of position on his way across. Beating him 5-hole with still plenty of time left in the third period to do some damage on that goal, brought to you by Mick Fasteners and Tools. We'll see if the Raiders can continue to build on this or if the Charleswood Hawks can do what great teams do, and that's close a game like this out. Ends up to Reynolds at the point, blockered aside by Savoy. For the Raiders, great teams can also build off of momentum. Do they have what it takes to build off of theirs that they just built? Danoon, his shot, unable to get through, or D'Souza Danoon. As his shot contested on all the way. Off the boards, up to Kalen Reynolds. Whips this across, gets through to Big Fuss, and his shot dipped. It went wide of the net. Reynolds has that taken away, pinned up along the boards. Cromie able to pick up that loose puck, but with a bit of trouble with it. Stevenson all over him, and now Stevenson picks up this loose puck. Tried to dangle pass. Instead, there's going to be a penalty drawn here. And is this going to end up being a Raiders power play? It looks like it just may be. With 6:11 remaining now on the clock. Kalen Reynolds going to the box. So we bring Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools onto the screen. And in the late stages of this one, getting into them where it's a bit of nice dramatic turn there. Putting the brakes on was Matthew Wilson as he makes his way up before dropping this back to create some more space onto Danoon's stick as Danoon tries to dangle by, but nice heads-up play by Gordon to play that stick out to disrupt that. From Danoon. Danoon gets it back, pulls up. His shot turned aside by a block, a Charleswood Hawks player. So the Raiders get on this once again. Across this pass to Danoon. Gets it to D'Souza. Back to Danoon. Surveying his options, but goes up top to D'Souza, whose shot turned aside by Gordon, seen all the way through the traffic. With 5:19 remaining in this third period, 4-2 the lead in favor of the Charleswood Hawks. So they're on the penalty kill. Ashton Henry to take the draw. Going up against Anthony Jacobs. Strong win by the former River East Royal Knights captain. The Hawks able to clear this out strongly from below their own goal line. As this onto D'Souza's stick. Nice elusiveness from number 16, but couldn't get past the second waves of Hawks sticks. Loses stick knocked out of his hand. No penalty here. Coming up on the play. It's the Hawks calling for it. Not going to be rewarded with anything. Larenko now building up speed and makes his way through the middle. Cutting behind the net now. Stops up behind it to play it to the point, but out of the reach of everybody. So got to Danoon first. Goes off for a change after playing it. D. Larveld. The first goal scorer for the Raiders in this game. Sent it in deep as this gets sent all the way down again by the Charleswood Hawks. Loose puck picked up again, but converging on him. And Logan Ashes traversing Glavina. 5 seconds remaining now on the Raiders' man advantage as Krekowitz plays that to safety to Traverse as we're back to even strength. Traverse, a physical specimen in this one. Plays it over to Dudic with some skill displayed on that pass, but unable to do anything with it in front. Was Reynolds now breaking through, getting behind the Charleswood Hawks and playing a pass out in front. Can't quite make out who that was. It's Cole Kennedy. Tried to find a teammate in Jack Derrett. That's just not meant to be. The pass was just short and cut off by the Hawks. So we got under 4 remaining here. 4-2 the score in favor of Charleswood. As that line held just by Zook. Giving chase on it, Matthew Wilson. First one on it, hounding him on the forecheck. Big fuss and now blows a tire as Wilson continues to skate up ice. Wilson trying to maneuver by, has his pocket picked by Carlson just past the red line. But the Raiders able to still send it in on net. The pressure continues. creates a turnover here. Jack Garrett, oh, what a move by Garrett, but couldn't pull off that shot. Let's just get in the lane. Number 22. I'm not sure, actually, if that was number 22 or not. But that shot, rather a pass, back to the direction of Garrett, goes off of his stick. Cole Kennedy in the corner tries to play that back down low to Garrett, but couldn't get it to him. As the Raiders forced to break this puck out again. Nice forecheck here from Carlson. Feeds into the slot. Lewis tried to drag it by into safety to protect it, but couldn't. As for the Charleswood Hawks, 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain in this one for them to close it out. When do we see the goalie pulled here from the Raiders? Picked off in the neutral zone. That pass by Logan Ash. Played down low to Henry, now out in front. Ash just missing the net. Gordon might have caught a piece of it. Savoy was creeping up to go. He's going to stay instead. Crouches down to stop that up. Saucer pass blocked up by Sperber. A big save made, though, by Savoy, recovering at the last moment on that chance by Sperber, created by him and Reynolds. Savoy still contemplating if he should go or not. Now he does, and a too many men called instead, as this pretty much curtains in this Wednesday night tilt on the Raiders' chances and coming back in this one. You just have a certain game plan in your head, a certain idea of when your goaltender should come, and Savoy was sent at first, but once Charleswood gets it down, he's thinking in survival mode, so he stays on, ends up making a huge save, and then he goes again, and you had to truly get off at that point. But Charleswood makes it difficult on them, and really have forced too many men there. As the Raiders tried to be quick enough, but couldn't be to beat the Hawks' attack. As the Hawks go back onto the power play, brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools, with under 2 minutes of regulation time remaining. Glavina circling up, dropped it back to Krekowitz, but that out of the range of number 4. As it got played in the wrong direction. Krekowitz back on with it again. He uses the net to build up some speed as he went behind it, as Krekowitz will drop this back upon entry. As we're into the final minute of action here in this third period of regulation, in this third period that's been brought to you by McCann Fasteners and Tools. This game brought to you by Terrico Goaltenders and Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia as well. 40 seconds remaining. Maybe one last chance here, short-handed for the Raiders. Zook shot turned aside by that blocker of Keegan Gordon, rimmed around, cut off by D'Souza. Oh, what a save made by Gordon with that stick. Are you kidding me? It's a short-handed chance. Oh, so close, but yet so far away for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. What a save made by number 1 in Keegan Gordon. So we've seen plenty saves worthy of a highlight reel here tonight. That's just the latest installment of it. As for one last time here, maybe we got another face-off draw. Coming inside the Charleswood end again. Won by Stevenson, rimmed around hard. Oh, bad bounce off the boards in the favor of the Raiders, and they capitalize on it in the back of the net to make this a 4-3 hockey game now. Goal scored the exact same way, basically, aside from the bounce in their favor, as a timeout coming, a much needed one for Charleswood, as, hey, you're almost out of this with a victory, but with 12.3 left, that gap just narrowed by quite a bit. Now, you do have a power play, but this face-off draw is the most important of the game coming up, and it's what you do with it afterwards, too. I think that the Raiders probably pull their goalie to start off 5-on-5, as it will be back at center ice. Yeah, this Charleswood team losing track of the players in the slot here late in the game. Those quick one-timers proved effective and costly for the Raiders. And here we go. Oh, they don't pull their goalie, actually. He's going to almost be basically at the bench in Savoy. His face-off draw important. The Raiders win it first. Played up, but turned over. The Hawks just looking to send this all the way in deep. Will it be down for an icing? And yes, it does get called that. So with 2.1 seconds remaining, are we going to get another timeout here from the Raiders? I believe we will. No, we won't. Just communicating with the players already out on ice. Oh, I'd call a timeout out here if I were them, to be honest with you, to truly get yourself set up with exactly 3 seconds left on the clock. Henry to take the draw against Carlson. Larveld and Wilson atop of him. Huge win by Carlson, and with that, the Charleswood Hawks survive a late game push from the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. Wasn't pretty in the end, but they'll take it to make this one the final 4-3 in favor of the Charleswood Hawks. In the game that was played in a neutral site, Keegan Gordon earns his 20th win of the season to continue to lead the mmjhl in wins by goaltenders. And for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, gotta give them credit to how they finish off this game. Never quitting. They outshoot Charleswood as well, 40-29. In a game where they kept pressing and pressuring the Charleswood Hawks. But Charleswood just doing enough in their own end to survive by the end of it. A few huge saves by Gordon down the line. And for the Raiders, I mean, what was evident in their game is just they continued to work harder and harder as it went along, trying to get back within even in this one. But the Charleswood Hawks had a line that was working extremely hard and was the biggest X factor in this one. I think the biggest difference in Riley Dudish's line, as he was centered by Cole Penner, also played on the wing with Chance Traverse. His physicality was unreal here too this evening from the Hockey for All Center. Is that line that was really driving things for the Charleswood Hawks. Points on every single goal from at least one of those three players. One of them is going to be featured in our Player of the Game here coming up, but yeah, I thought that Charleswood had a really good push in that second period and wasn't the prettiest in that third period of action. Thought that the Raiders, by the end of it, ended up carrying most of the play, but that's to be expected, especially when you're up. The Hawks maybe sat back a bit too much, and that kind of bit them in the butt a bit for this game to become so close, but sound enough in their game by the end of it to come away with this victory tonight. As we take a look into what the standings will be updated to. Charleswood will tie Transcona in the standings with the same amount of games played now at 34 with 25 wins. And for the Raiders, they'll fall to 14, 17, and 4. Yeah. We're going to go into players of the game here, and then we'll have some final thoughts afterwards. Player of the game for the loser side, first off for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, brought to you by Make Canada Fasteners and Tools, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs here in the province of Manitoba. Sure to check out their website at McCannFasteners.shop as well as their store locations in Brandon and Winnipeg, Manitoba. But yeah, in my opinion, who I think should get player of the game in terms of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, hey? As we take a look into it here, taking a look at some players who put up points in this one. And you know what? We are going to give player of the game for this evening. Was a big fan of it. We'll give it to, I think, Lucas D'Souza. Lucas D'Souza ends up having an assist in this matchup tonight. Thought that he was making a lot of nice passes throughout this game, and was a big part of this team's success in moving it on the power play, and just in terms of moving it in the offensive zone pretty much all night long for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. So, yeah, there was a few different players could have given player of the game to, but deciding to go with, number 16 there in Lucas D'Souza, brought to you by Make-Hand Fasteners and Tools. As for the Charleswood Hawks, their player of the game on the winning side, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. I'm going to give it to Riley Dudich. Multiple points on the night, had some goals, was big time with the assist in there as well. And he was just, forcing turnover after turnover, so effective on the forecheck. His line mate in Chance Traverse played a physical game as well, which was really noticeable. But yeah, for Riley Dudich, he was the guy that was right there helping out on the forecheck, being that support man, and him and, of course, Sam Monin had some good chemistry with each other tonight, as well as, guys like Cole Penner. Him and Traverse were, not afraid to lay the body out there, as we saw. And yeah, Riley Dudich was just doing so many different things to impact the game tonight that was effective for this team. Real game changer in helping shift some positive momentum into Charleswood's direction by opening up the scoring for them with that redirect goal. And yeah, for Riley Dudich, he's your player of the game, brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for the Charleswood Hawks. As for the Charleswood Hawks, they'll be back in action not again up until this Friday, as they'll be at home to take on the Pembina Valley Twisters. As for the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, they'll be back in action 2 days' time from now as well to face off against the Transcona Railer Express at Seven Oaks Sportsplex on an edition of mmjhl Game Day. So very excited for that one. We got mmjhl podcast, the latest edition of that podcast, coming out tomorrow at some point as well. We're shooting for 11 a.m., but it might be a bit later for us to accommodate the guests that are going to be joining the show, which will be announced tomorrow on our website as well as on our social media pages. But thought that Charleswood started this game off stronger than the Raiders. Raiders really picked up their play, and then the Raiders started off the second period stronger, I thought, compared to the Hawks. Then the Hawks really settled into it, and then that third period of action was a bit of back and forth between the two teams. The Raiders ended up pressing a lot by the end of it, scoring 2 to get back within 1 after giving up 4 unanswered, after leading this game 1-0. But it was the Hawks, their goaltending, doing just enough. Big performances by their forwards. One forward group in particular, led by the likes of players like Riley Dudich and Chance Traverse tonight. And yeah, just their overall details in their game being just a bit stronger throughout than the Raiders Junior Hockey Club. For the Raiders, another valiant effort. They'll go back to the drawing board and look to reset for 2 days' time, playing against a tough Transcona Railer Express team. Want to thank all the viewers for tuning into this edition of mmjhl Game Day, as well as to our sponsors in Pt2, Make-Hand Fasteners and Tools, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, and Pt2 for sponsoring another edition of Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League coverage here on the network. We'll be in St. Vital tomorrow for Vicks versus Canucks, but as for tonight's matchup, the Charleswood Hawks able to hold on in this neutral site at the Hockey for All Center on this rare Wednesday night tilt, holding on to win 4-3 over the Raiders tonight, en route to also winning the season series as they go up 3-1. Both of these teams will face off against each other in February again. Until next time, folks, I've been your host, Graham the G Show Forsyth, saying so long from all of our crew here at G Show Productions. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.